Washington football team's Black Engagement Network, known as BEN, has organized a Shop Black initiative in celebration of Black History Month. This initiative is a shopping and dining directory of small businesses that are owned by people of color from all over the DMV. We are excited to bring you a special WOW Home Field featuring two of those business owners. I'm Jade Kenny, and joining me is Stephanie Jokian and Janine Samuels, and this is the WOW brought to you by Fresh Fine Wine.
Yes, this is a very special edition of WOW Home Field. We are talking two of my most favorite things, other than the Washington football team, of course, food and fitness. So we have husband and wife duo, James and Deanna Robinson, with us here today. James is a chef and my new best friend. He is owner of Kitchencray with locations in Lanham and H Street in Northeast DC. And then Deanna is owner of Fab Body Fitness Gym, as well as a fitness instructor and trainer for our very own Women of Washington. So to you both, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the WOW. How are you doing?
We are great. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Well, I want to start right at the beginning. We're going to learn all about who you guys are, as well as all of your endeavors, but I want to start from the start. When did you know you wanted to own your own business?
First.
Sure. So I've always known I wanted to own my own business. I think even from being a younger child, I was always a leader. I always knew that I wanted to, if I wasn't owning my own business, I wanted to be the boss. When I was younger, I was classified as bossy. And then later on, that got classified as having more leadership qualities, which I prefer. And so I always knew that I wanted to be in the lead. I knew that I wanted to be able to have my own creative thoughts and use those creative thoughts to run my business how I wanted to run it. So I did start off working a job. I was actually a paralegal. And I did not like it at all. I didn't like having a regimented 9-to-5 schedule. And so I did that for a while until I could build up enough savings in order to open up my own gym and kind of run it on my own. So
Awesome.
And I knew I wanted to be a business owner when I figured out I didn't have to request days off. So like, that was like,
and instead you work every day.
like that was my turning point, like asking for a day off and then they can deny it. So I just felt like I was in the wrong place. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to work hard so I won't ever have to ask anybody for a day off. I can make my own schedule, live my own life, and also provide jobs for people in the community and, you know, do what I wanted to do. So I just felt like that motivated me to go above and beyond. And any place I ever worked, I worked in the restaurant industry for about 10 years. I treated the restaurant like it was my own. And I always did, you know, took the extra steps to learn other people's jobs so that when I open my own, I know how it worked. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, and kind of talking about that, you know, I've been on my own since 2007, and there are a lot of ups, there are a lot of downs, but then it's that initial hump of how do I push through and how do I do this? This is a passion of mine. I know that I want to work for myself. I know I want to be my own boss, but actually starting is what is sometimes the roadblock for a lot of people. So what would you say, just kind of thinking back when you first opened up your business, what was the biggest challenge maybe that you hit? And then how did you overcome that? And then bringing it to present day with the pandemic, you know, how have you been able to keep your business running through COVID-19?
yeah, so I'll start. So first, let me say that I think that it's important for aspiring business owners to know that in order to be a leader or in order to run a business, you have to know how to serve first, which is kind of what he was saying. So I think it's important. For me, it was really important to work that 9-to-5 as a paralegal, to be able to learn how to work under someone first, to learn how to serve someone else first. Because being a leader and being a boss is not always all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes you are the one sweeping the floors. You know, you're not always the one just signing the check. So you really have to learn kind of all aspects of the business and be able and humble enough to take on all aspects. So as far as the most challenging part of business, I think it has been hiring and retaining good staff. And that kind of goes back to, you know, being able to serve and, you know, knowing that, you know, you do have to take authority from somebody else, and maybe your ideas may not always be the ideas that are taken, but having to follow through with someone else's ideas, even though they may not be your own. So for me, it's been really hiring good staff, staff that you can trust, staff that align with your brand, and then staff that just kind of are able to kind of follow your lead and be kind of proactive as well.
Yeah, on my side, I felt like the hardest thing was first to get funding, because like being a Black business owner, you don't really have like all the resources or access to get the funding, and nobody ever tells you how to do it. Like growing up, and how we grew up in like the hood, what everybody call it. So I just felt like just going out, getting that knowledge, getting educated on how funding works, and before you start your business, actually getting an accountant, a lawyer. Even if you can't afford it, I bartered with them. I said, hey, I do your meal preps and you do my contracts, or you do my taxes. So I just had to figure out how to make it work. So when I did go to the bank, I can present them with a package that would allow me to get the funding that I needed to go forward, because, I don't have a mother or father that's just going to hand me $1 million to start a business. So we just had to really figure out and get creative on how to raise the money to actually get the loan, because a lot of people don't know that you have to put down 10%. So you have to invest in yourself, and you have to be a growing business for a bank to even touch you. And then in the restaurant field, it's one of the industries that banks don't like to touch, because it's the #1 failing business in the world. It's a restaurant. Restaurants usually don't make it past 6 months.
Wow.
So we're going on our 4th year. So I just felt in our 3rd location. So I felt like, the next location is in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay.
And like Deanna said, the staff part, like when you're working with humans, period, is always going to be issues, because humans know how to mess something up. Like they're going to come into work and don't want to work today, or, bring their issues in. So you just have to figure out how to deal with the personalities. You have to be strong. You have to kind of be cutthroat, because you want to be fair to everybody. You don't want to give anybody special treatment and treat others different. So you want to make sure you're a fair person. You want to make sure everybody understands what your vision is, because I feel like sometimes people could come in and try to steer you in another direction just because they have a little more knowledge. So you have to like really build your foundation and know where you're going. So when you bring people in, they understand what the mission is.
That's good.
Love that creativity with the financing. I will food prep for you. I mean, that is
like
so cool. Such a great idea. So I know Janine's second part was just about pandemic and how that's affected you guys. And obviously you're both very creative, because I work with Deanna all the time, and she's such a problem solver for me when we want to be creative for WOW events. So I'm making it 2-part too, because you have an addition coming to your family. So now let's talk about how you're surviving the pandemic, and now how are you going to add this extra little member to the family with balance?
Yeah, so as far as the pandemic and running business, I think it's been hard for all businesses, specifically small businesses, because we're working on a tighter budget than larger businesses are. And a lot of small businesses have really been affected, especially our 2 industries, restaurant industry and gyms. Right now, we're both at 25% occupancy or capacity. And you can imagine that only being able to bring in 25% of, what you were making before can be tough for a business. So we both have to really learn how to kind of like pivot, how we can figure out ways how we can generate revenue in other ways. And that's why I always say to other business owners that having multiple streams of income is always so important, because even if you feel like you have one stream down pat, sometimes things are out of your control, and like this pandemic. So you have to be able to pivot and find new ways to create different streams of revenue. And so as far as bringing in this new addition and balancing it all, so far we've been married now for almost 4 years, and we've been doing a great job at balancing, but it's kind of really just been us. And so now with this new addition, we're going to be facing some new challenges. But I think that because we've been married for 4 years, and because our communication has gotten so much better within these 4 years, it's going to be a lot easier for us. And I think that that's the key to balance, is that communication, because there's not really a turning off the clock for us. Like, we can't say at 5 p.m., we're off the clock. We're answering emails all through the night. Him more than I, he's taking phone calls all through the evening.
That's his high time, right?
So it's really important to just communicate what we kind of have going on, letting each other know, hey, this is a crazy month for me. And so, I may have to put a little bit more focus into my business, but we still also take time to really have quality time. And even if we're in the middle of kind of watching a movie in the evening and he says, hey, pause this real quick, I need to take this call, or I need to, answer this email. It's fine. I'm very understanding. He's very understanding. And it helps that we're both entrepreneurs so that we kind of know the game each. It may have been a little different if one of us were working a 9 to 5 and we were kind of off, and then the other was still kind of working. But really understanding the entrepreneurship game and knowing that there's never really an off time really helps us to manage and balance our time better.
And puts you right into parent life, because the baby doesn't stop crying at 5 either.
Exactly. Yep.
On my side, I feel like, with restaurants, it's a dine-in restaurant, so we had to adjust to takeout. So we had to figure out a plan on how could we go from being 10% takeout to 100% takeout. And we just had to come up with a plan, make it work. The hardest part was laying off the front of the house staff, because I feel like the county, they're not on the same page with each other. So 2 months we'll be open for 25%. Then the next month they shut us down completely. Then they open us back up. So it's just like, we have to keep adjusting every morning. Like, our businesses are not set in stone. And I feel like that's how you win, when you're able to adjust to what's going on in the world. And we figured it out. We made packages. We try to just do a lot of fun stuff to interact, with our clients. I go on social media and do like little dishes and sell them online, just so like people can see what's going in it. I'll give you the ingredient list. You can make the dish with me. If you can't make it, it'll be the special the next day, so you can order it online. And, as far as a new baby, I just feel like I'm going to be the morning shift. She's going to take the night shift, because I always wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning anyway. So, yeah.
I love that.
And you know what? I want to add to that too. This is why I love fitness so much, because I feel like fitness is kind of a microcosm of the real world. And he was talking about like really being flexible and not having everything kind of set in stone, so that you're able to kind of bend with the times. And I feel like that totally relates to fitness, where we have to stretch and we have to be flexible. Our muscles have to be pliable. And then even like the strength of fitness, like being able to kind of overcome challenges, is a great way to kind of look at life, So.
I love what you said about pivoting. I think that is like the word for 2020, and unfortunately what it's looking like for 2021 early on is we're just all having to pivot with the cards that are being dealt. And along those lines, what are your thoughts and advice for people that are still, working from home, not in their normal routine, or having to adjust to nutrition and exercising during a COVID time? What advice are you giving to those? And like you said, you're getting creative and doing more virtual things to inspire people. So what advice and tips do you have for people going through it?
Yeah, so I mean, in some cases, quarantine and being at home has been easier for people to kind of keep their fitness regimen, because they are at home. They don't have as much, their schedule is not as busy, and so they're able to kind of carve out more time for fitness. But then some people who really rely on the gym, they rely on their group exercise classes, it's been a little tougher for them. So definitely, like for us, so James has actually built a home gym downstairs, which has been kind of tough, because now things have really been out of stock, because a lot of people are trying to build a home gym, but that's a great thing. Like having something inside your home that you can refer to for your health and wellness regimen. And then you never really, so when you have to go out and get in a workout, a lot of times there's things that come up. You have to incorporate travel time. But when your gym is in the basement, you know, you don't have to worry about the snow, and you don't have to worry about, I don't have time because I don't have 20 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get back, and then an hour to work out. So really taking advantage of the fact that we can be at home and we can create a workout regimen that's tailored for the house. And then as far as nutrition goes, I think that being at home has definitely been a huge help. Like you're not always on the go. You have more time to kind of be at home, to meal prep, to kind of really plan out what your meals are going to be. I know for us, like Instacart has been a savior, and you're able to kind of look at, you know, what your meals are going to look like for the week, and then, you know, order that stuff on Instacart and have it delivered right to your house. And, you know, we're home most of the day, so you can accept the deliveries. So it's just kind of looking on the bright side of things, and trying to figure out how being at home can really be beneficial to your fitness regimen.
Yeah, like I started doing HelloFresh and I did not know how to cook at all. And now I'm not a chef. I don't think I'll be getting hired anytime soon by you, James. But yeah, like things like that, just making the most of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, and so I have to say, with Kitchencray, like I actually live right off of Martin Luther King, you know, Home Depot, all of this. So your restaurant is, in normal life outside of COVID, was always jam-packed. It's like hard to get in, but once you got in, it was well worth the wait. And so when I went, one thing that I didn't realize was your mission. And like just reading up a little bit more on, you know, the whole mission of making five-star dining an accessible and personal experience for everyone, one, I think is absolutely amazing. But then you also have a goal of teaching underprivileged youth about healthy eating and opportunities for career in the culinary arts, which is sometimes, you know, not thought of as a sexy or fancy career. So kind of talk about like your thought process on really making sure that you have this mission of fine dining for all, but then also teaching youth about the importance of eating well, and then being creative with food and maybe going into culinary arts.
Yeah, I started Kitchencray so I can do my own thing and actually do things I wish chefs would do for me when I was coming up in the industry, and, you know, have a mentor and just being real and connecting with the guests. I feel like in our industry, we never get to do that or see that. And me growing up in this industry, I just felt like, wow, I need to change the culture. And CRAY was actually an acronym. The C is for the creativity, the R is for the revolution that we started with Black chefs actually getting recognized for the work that we're doing. The A is for the artistry because we're culinary artists, and the Y is for the youth because we do go out to the schools and actually connect with the kids, because I feel like a lot of kids in certain neighborhoods have no clue what certain things are. So I just felt like it was my mission to actually go and teach them these things. And it felt good actually giving back, because we never really got paid for it. Like sometimes the schools would cover the food, but most of the times they don't have a budget for it. So I just felt like since God was blessing me with all the blessings of owning my own things, I can share the blessings by going out and giving back, and even like feeding homeless shelters, because I was homeless when I was in high school. So I knew how it felt like to feel like nobody's there for you, nobody loves you. So we went out to like men's shelters and, you know, made them feel real again, because you never know what situation you will be in tomorrow. So we're going to continue to do that. And everybody that works with us have that same heart. Like when you come in the Kitchencray, they're going to make you feel like a king or a queen for the time that you're there. So it's like whatever you're going through, when you walk through those doors, we're going to be like that weight off your shoulders and that relief that you were looking for. And then you're going to get good food, drinks, and a good, you know, some good music and good staff and good people around you and good energy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If anybody wants recommendations, shrimp and grits and or the catfish, like those are my favorites so far.
The catfish is my favorite. I grew up eating that. So that's why I had to put it on the menu, because my grandmother will always make fish and grits like on the weekend. So
yeah. And I mean, I know one thing for me really quick, I'm sorry, because I know we're almost out of time. We had so many questions for you guys, but one thing when I was there, I was like, people are not going to want to leave here ever, because you're absolutely right. Just as far as the atmosphere, the music, it's a fun, upbeat environment. And then the food is just so good. So you're just like, I'm just going to eat really slow. So then maybe I'll get hungry again and I'll just order again.
we had up to like 4-hour waits, and people will wait 4 hours. And I'm like, wow, like
it's worth the wait. I'm just saying.
I know he had the brunches on H Street. I saw Deanna, you can't get into those. Those things are sold out. Well, real quick, I wanted to ask, I mean, we had a lot more questions. I mean, Deanna, I know you're doing your own impact and activities for empowering young kids to develop lifelong healthy habits. So I think what I'd like to pivot though is to ask you guys, if you could both talk to your younger self, what would you say to your younger self? And it could be now that you've learned more about staying healthy, becoming an entrepreneur, anything like that. But we just want to hear, what would you say now to your younger self?
So I would tell my younger self to be flexible and to know that there are ups and downs, and just to realize that when there are downs, there's an upcoming. Because a lot of times, like as entrepreneurs, we can get really discouraged if things are not going the way that we want it to go. And then sometimes in business, there's just times when we're really grinding around the clock and you start to wonder, like, is this what I signed up for? But just knowing that there is kind of that ebb and flow in business, and that, the tables kind of always turn, and just really being more resilient and knowing that flexibility is key.
Yeah, I would tell my younger self to take your time, give humans grace because they are not perfect. Make sure you do the right thing with your money, invest in yourself, and just stay focused and make sure the vision is greater than the temptation, and just stay on the right track and don't get sidetracked by everything by trying to please people, because you can't please everybody. And I feel like we get caught up in overworking ourselves trying to please people, when some people you can never satisfy them. And then in our industries, I know we all deal with it or dealt with it at one point in time. So you just got to stay focused, and knowing if you're giving it 100%, you gave it 100%, and just live with it and be happy.
I love that you said invest in yourself. I think that is like the biggest thing that, I'd tell my younger self if I could, is to know yourself and know your worth, and know, if you're giving it your all, then you can have no regrets with, the outcome of things. Somehow this conversation is winding down and come to an end. But before we let you guys go, can you please plug where everyone can find you?
Yeah, so I am on all social media platforms at Deanna Robinson Fit. And my website for the gym is fabbodyfactory.com, and that's Fab, F-A-B, bodyfactory.com. And I think that's about it for me.
Yeah, for me, on social media, Kitchencray. If you just put in Kitchencray, everything will come up. Kitchencray.com. And yeah, that's it.
Great. I'm looking forward to checking out your restaurant here soon and getting some cafe.
Check us out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks for joining The Wow.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Has your business been affected by COVID-19? Have you considered reducing or moving your office space? Then it's time to call Victory Van. We provide the best service and price with flexible options for your company's moving and storage needs. Visit victoryvan.com to get your free moving and storage quote today. For corporate storage and moving, it's always the right move to choose Victory Van. That's victoryvan.com, Victory Van Corporation, delivering excellence for 75 years and proud partner of the Washington football team.
Finch Services Incorporated, recognized in its industry as a world-class organization, is the exclusive supplier of John Deere golf and sports turf maintenance equipment for the Mid-Atlantic region. In business since 1945, Finch helps golf course and sports turf managers maintain some of the most exclusive playing surfaces in the region. Experience the Finch advantage for yourself. Contact one of our golf and sports turf sales specialists to see how we can help you maintain your field of dreams. Go to finchturf.com for more information.
At RTS, game day strategy doesn't stop when the whistle blows. RTS delivers smarter, more responsible waste and recycling services. As an official partner of the Washington football team, RTS is connecting the team and FedEx Field with sustainable solutions to care for the community and the environment. RTS, a better waste company. Find out more at rts.com. A new decade demands a new kind of wine. as consumers continue to embrace healthier lifestyles with beverages that taste great and keep in line with their dietary preferences, and wine is no exception. Fresh Vine Wine thoughtfully crafts great tasting premium wines that are low calorie, low carb, low sugar, keto, vegan friendly, and gluten free. Fresh Vine Wines pairs perfectly with your active lifestyle without sacrificing on taste. Available in select stores in DC and Maryland.
You can hear every Washington football team game on the Team 980 and streaming on the radio.com app. Listen to Team 980 every day for expert analysis, Washington football guests, and your calls along with hosts Kevin Sheehan, Washington football legend Brian Mitchell, Steve Zabin, and more on the official radio of home of the Washington football team. Download the radio.com app and favorite the Team 980 today to listen on your phone or smart speaker. This winter, be confident in a rugged all-wheel drive Honda SUV. Take control with the reliable CRV, the versatile HRV, the 8-passenger Pilot, or the adventurous Passport. With features like Honda Sensing, magic folding seats, and 3 different driving modes. Now is the best time to buy. Don't miss your chance to get a great deal on your favorite Honda SUV. See your local Honda dealer and take on winter today. We are heading into WOW overtime, and it's been a little bit since the 3 of us got to huddle up after an interview. But we just want to take a second and highlight some amazing events that are coming up. We have one more show. It'll coming up the end of February to round out Black History Month. We will be doing a WOW Spotlight highlighting a Washington employee as well as a business owner. So make sure you tune in for that. That's coming up the end of February. But Stephanie, let's talk about some other WOW events we have.
Oh my goodness. So we have Women's History Month coming up in March. And I know last year, ladies, it was right before the shutdown. We did a 5K together in DC to celebrate Women's History Month. So this time we're going to kick it off with an inspirational series. It's going to have a Women's History panel on Wednesday, March 3rd. And then on Mondays from that, we're going to do every Monday a positive motivational speaker and a workout together. So Wednesday, March 3rd will be our panel that is free and open to everyone with, the panel, we'll talk more about it, but it's some amazing women that will be on it. And then Monday workouts with our own Deanna Robinson we just talked to for the kickoff workout on March 8th. A lot of fun to come.
Yeah, and then if I could just add in as well, because obviously I'm super excited about next month, but then just, this month being, Black History Month, I just want to obviously remind everyone about Shop Black. I know that we already mentioned it, but we have an amazing directory of Black-owned businesses right here local in the district, actually Maryland, Virginia, DMV. So if you can go to WashingtonFootball.com, I believe it's /bin/Shop Black, and you can see we have different organizations within accessories and apparel, beauty, career and lifestyle, delights, faith, gifts and home, health and wellness. We even have a kids corner. So there's just a lot of opportunity for us to just give back to the Black-owned businesses in the DMV and just kind of get outside of our norms of what we may normally do because it's right around the corner, and just the importance of supporting Black-owned business, especially, not just this month, but all year round. So I just think it's super exciting. Me being a part of BIN and being able to actually make and do outreach for businesses to see if they wanted to be involved, I just think is an amazing effort within the Washington football team. And I was just really excited to be a part of that. And just kind of giving back to the community in a very specific way was just, I don't know, it just gave me warm and fuzzies. And then to see it online and see the businesses, some of the businesses that I contacted, and see that they're on the website is just super cool.
Yeah, and obviously it's such a hard time right now with COVID. So I think just going that extra mile of shopping local in general is just such a small thing that you don't think about, purchasing flowers for your, for someone's birthday, like going local versus, the normal corporate route can just really help someone so much during this time. So kudos to Ben and to the Washington football team for kind of doing all the hard work of getting it all in one place and making it easier on everyone to shop Black and to shop local. So definitely take advantage of it, not just for Black History Month, but, for all year and all seasons. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining the WOW, connecting and empowering women through sports, brought to you by our amazing partners, Fresh Fine Wine. Till next time, see you guys.
Bye.
For more than 100 years, Chesapeake Employers Insurance has been helping Maryland businesses keep their workers safe. With competitive pricing and an AM Best A- financial strength rating, it's no surprise that Chesapeake Employers is Maryland's largest writer of workers' comp insurance.
At the end of every workday, always someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your agent or visit CEIWC.com.
Reliable power from Novec keeps us connected to so many good things. Life-saving equipment and life-affirming moments depend on reliable, safe electricity that keeps us plugged in and powered up. And as a not-for-profit cooperative owned by the people it serves, Novec keeps rates low and service high. Novec, keeping life bright.
Somewhere in Maryland, Dr. X unleashes his scratch-off masterpiece.
Load the prizes, Cashbot!
Done, Doctor!
Now multiply them!
50 times?
More!
100 times?
Yes, 100 times the cash!
That's $1 million top prize!
Zap, Cashbot, zap!
It's alive!
It's beautiful!
Play all 5 new X multiplier scratch-offs from the Maryland Lottery, like nothing we've created before. Play safely and responsibly.
Hey, Washington fans, sports betting is officially live in Virginia. Right now, FanDuel is offering a $25 sign-up bonus to anyone who uses code Washington. Just visit FanDuelSportsbook.com or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use promo code Washington after signing up to get a $25 bonus and site credit. No deposit required. That's promo code Washington. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Must be at least 21 years of age and present in Virginia. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 7 days. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.